Triple Splashdown is one of the 2 new special weapons that were added to Splatoon 3 in the recent chill season, and I've had a decent amount of time to play with it so far. I really like this special because there's a lot of cool tech and strategies you could do with it, unlike the original Splashdown in Splatoon 2. Oh, by the way, if you're wondering, yes, Triple Splashdown is massively better than OG Splashdown. Anyway, since the special is still relatively new, I thought it would be a good idea to make a tips and tricks video for it, since there might be some use cases that not everyone is aware of. While I am going to try and cover as much as I can about Triple Splashdown in this video, it's very possible I could miss some things as the special is still new. So if you know something that I don't mention here, feel free to comment it down below. Also, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like and subscribe if you haven't already, because we are oh so close to 30,000. So let's start with the basics. The most obvious use case for this special is to just get near people and use it. And unlike in Splatoon 2, this strategy can actually work out sometimes. Yeah, you'll still die most likely, but due to your extra fists, the odds of you still getting a kill or even just damaging an opponent is likely. The one thing I'll say though is don't just rush into 2 or 3 enemies and splash down all by yourself. If you don't have teammates to follow up with you, chances are the enemies are just going to shoot you and also your fists, or at least avoid them. But of course, sometimes you'll find yourself alone and about to die, in which case you might just use splashdown as a panic button. Depending on the position of your enemy, this can actually work, especially if they're already damaged. Sure, you might die, but if used properly, you can almost guarantee a trade with your fists. It's up to you to decide whether it's worth it to lose your special and go for that trade, or just die and retain a good amount of your special. Sometimes, using splashdown defensively can save you from a dangerous situation. You don't only need to pop the special when you're in range of killing someone with it. Say you're really close to KOing in splat zones, so just to block off the path from your opponents and guarantee that the zone stays painted, you splashdown. Or you want to block off a path to stall the enemies on Rainmaker. Or maybe you're really weak and the splashdown would position you high enough from the enemy to give yourself a little time to heal. A defensive splashdown is pretty niche, but there are some great use cases for it. Just like in Splatoon 2, you can use your triple splashdown while super jumping. Note that if you do this though, no fists will appear, it'll just be one explosion. Surprisingly, jumping in with splashdown in this game isn't as effective as it was in Splatoon 2. The reason for that is because Nintendo kind of hard nerfed it for some reason. Here's some footage from ProChara's video that demonstrates just how much smaller the radius is for a splashdown jump-in's explosion. And it's not just the pain, the lethal radius is also significantly less. Don't get me wrong, this can still have use cases. If you see a teammate who's surrounded by enemies, this could be worth going for. But just be smart and know that it's less likely to get a kill than it was in Splatoon 2. It's kind of crazy how the tables turned with splashdown in this game. Jumping in with it used to be the optimal way to use it, but now you're honestly more likely to get value out of it by just using it normally. Oh, well, there is one specific instance where splashdown super jumping can still be extremely effective, and that is when you have tacticooler effects. When you grab a drink from a tacticooler, your super jump speed is near instant, so try to combine that with splashdown. Even if the enemies know you have splashdown and you're going to super jump, they might just not be able to react fast enough with how quick you're gonna be. Okay, now let's get into some of the less obvious techniques. Carrying over from Splatoon 2, strategically using your splashdown in a certain spot of the map, or timing it in a certain way can yield great results. Splashdown thrives in elevated areas, where you can jump off of a platform and then splash down on the people below you. This is effective because 1, the enemies won't be able to shoot you or your fist down if you're attacking from a high elevation, and 2, the odds of them being able to escape your lethal radius will be decreased, purely because of the surprise element. Some of the best maps to do this on are Scorch Gorge, Eeltail Alley, Undertow Spillway, Robo Ramen, and that's just naming a few. Splashdown also has a cool niche in tower control where you can get in front of the tower's path, pop splashdown when it gets near you, and then land on the tower. This catches a lot of people off guard from my experience, so try to do this when you can. If anything, it's a way to force the enemies off the tower, even if you don't get a kill out of it. You can also utilize this same timing technique to get above other things, such as Brella shields, and other mobile special weapons. One more cool spot that I found really effective for Triple Splashdown is behind a Rainmaker pedestal, because while your explosion will be behind the pedestal, your fist will detonate in front of it. For example, if the enemies are trying to make a push for the checkpoint, just shark behind the pedestal and pop Splashdown as they get close. Chances are you'll get a double or even a triple with this. Now for what's perhaps the coolest part of Triple Splashdown, positioning your fists on different elevations. If you do this properly, you can get your fist to detonate on top of and even behind some low walls. There's a ton of spots where you can do this, most maps have at least one, but I'm showing you some of the most effective spots on screen now. Now, there is a technique to this. It won't always work if you just press the special button. How close you are to the ledge of the wall does matter. Let's take this spot in Manta Maria for example. If I just use the splashdown without doing anything else, the fists get caught on the wall. However, if I jump and get my head to be right near the ledge, then the fists are able to spawn above the wall and land on the other side. It's a little tricky to understand, but the bottom line here is if you're ever trying to get your fist to spawn above or past a higher elevation, jump first. Of course, you can also align your fist to just land on top of higher elevations, such as this spot on Mincemeat Metalworks. And yes, this works even if you're swimming on a wall, but just make sure that you're close enough to the ledge for the hands to be able to spawn above you. Mastering this one technique is going to get you so many kills, because there's simply not much that an opponent can do about it if you're sneaky. I gotten quite a few double and triple kills with this even. Positioning your fist doesn't just have to be for higher elevations, it works for lower elevations too. Check out this clip from Shipshape Cargo. I land on the same floor that I activated the special on, but my left fist went below the ledge and killed someone down there. Or check out the height difference that you can get here on Brinewater Springs. Your fist can fall all the way below, which can totally catch a ton of people by surprise. Splashdown is a very versatile special, and with the addition of the fists, you have so many different options. Whether it's using it as a simple panic button, or creeping under a ledge to surprise attack those above you, the possibilities are endless. This video discussed what I think are the main use cases, but there's probably quite a bit more out there. As with everything in this game, just use the special as much as you can, and try different things. See what works against people, what doesn't work, how much value you're getting, etc. Eventually, you'll develop a good baseline for how to maximize your usage of the special. It's really cool to see Splashdown have this kind of redemption arc in Splatoon 3, because it definitely needed it from Splatoon 2. I'm not claiming it's the best special in the game, but it's pretty darn good. It's definitely better than that shark special. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, if you have any tips or tricks that I didn't cover in this video, feel free to comment them down below. If you found this helpful, please like and consider subscribing, comment to let me know, and yeah, that's it. I hope you all have a great day, and I will see you all next time.